Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. This is my final answer. I'm not going to do your freaking Super Bowl halftime show. Now, you've made your bed. It's time for you to lie in it. You're stuck with Bad Bunny, baby. And that's all I got to say on the matter. I'm in the middle of a stream. You call me here? Good Lord, fool. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the bottom line. I'm Michael Nolan. Tonight is Tribal Forum number 109. And tonight we're going to be talking about bands who have become brands. Now, you may have noticed that it's Saturday and I don't stream on Saturdays. Well, I have in the past, but it's not a usual thing with me. And, excuse me. But the reason I'm doing it tonight is I know for a fact that if I streamed tomorrow night, I'd get about 1/10 the audience. Most people are looking forward to watching the Super Bowl, and I hope not that halftime show. But and so both Royce and I have decided to move our show up 24 hours in the future. Okay? And so that's why I'm streaming here tonight at 5, and I'll go until about 6, a little after 6. You know how we usually do this on Sundays. And then I'm going to join Royce on his panel over
Oh
at the
my
Four
goodness.
Horsemen, where we're going to be talking about some of the very best Super Bowl halftime shows. That ought to be a lot of fun. Did you have something to
Oh,
say, baby?
yeah. Royce in the house just came in
Oh my
with
goodness.
$20.
Oh, good
Oh,
Lord.
thank you so much, Royce.
What
You're
did
always so wonderful.
$20? What did he have to say?
He said, "Let the show begin.
Let the show begin.
Let the drums roll."
Absolutely.
Thank you,
I
Royce.
love it. I love it.
Awesome.
All right. You know what, Royce? I sent you a little something over there for you on your stream tonight too. Because when I always want to do that. I like to support shows myself, and every time I get over there, sometimes I'm just so focused on getting over there that and getting in backstage and everything that I don't get often a chance to throw Royce and his wonderful show something his way as well. But thank you, brother. You know I appreciate that so very much. Now tonight we're going to be talking about bands that still tour with very few members and or zero members, and we're going to talk about a few bands I haven't talked about a whole lot, and we'll be covering some bands that I have talked about. Okay, I just did, what was it? My latest video. It's about 13 minutes long. And in that video, I mean, you guys have responded like crazy on that video, and I thank you very much. It is taking off in views. I appreciate it. And some of you watching tonight might even be brand new subscribers from that video. And that video was taken from one of my live streams. I will take my live streams, dress it up, drop a soundtrack below it, improve the sound, and add artwork and all of that. And I usually get my uhs and ers and, burps and all of that kind of cut out. And so I edited it in that fashion. And boy, this one's taken off over 8,000. It's not showing it on the channel just yet, but I was just over in my analytics. And it's reached 8.1 thousand views, and we've gotten over 33 brand new subscribers just from that video. And so if you're one of them, welcome. I do regular set videos. Maybe you've seen me in the past, but you never subscribed, but you subscribed on that newest video. And I still do those, all right? But when I'm over here, I call it the Tribal Forum. And this gives me a chance to directly interact with you guys in a live fashion. In other words, in my regular videos, I'll write the damn thing before I put it out. Usually by writing, I mean 3 or 4 words per sentence, and I'll have maybe a dozen sentences there. And then I'll turn that into a 10-minute video. but I have a basic script that I follow. I still kind of just do what I do, talk from my own gut and everything. But I put more of a professional effort in getting everything right, and there's no way I can do that here because it's live. You know, I can't go foible. Okay, where was my hand? Okay, spark plug. You know, like you would do to edit a regular video. As a matter of fact, if I were to edit this video, I would have cut that whole jargon out, right? So welcome if you're brand new to the tribe. We call this the Tribal Forum because I have always signed off my videos at the end, many of them anyway, by saying at the very end, remember, we are the tribe. I'm talking about, and it's horrible when you come up on air with a runny nose. Excuse me, folks. But, oh, and Gear Jam. I'm so sorry that Gear Jam is experiencing an ear infection that's kicking
Yeah.
the foible out of him. See what I did there? And it wasn't going to be able to make it, but he'll see it on a rerun, I'm sure. And a tip of the hat to you, Gear Jam. I'm sorry you're feeling down. Good to see so many of the regulars in the comments. If you're new, feel free to comment. This is a friendly environment, okay? We've almost eliminated trolls. I did notice I would get so many thumbs up at the end, and then, you know, the trolls came over and gave me thumbs down, so it went from 11 thumbs up to 8 thumbs up all of a sudden. We get those guys still. And anybody you see with a wrench out there, for all you new folks, those are what I call tribal marshals. On other channels, they call them moderators, right? But I see them as marshals. They're people that I've gotten to know better and better. We made 2 brand new marshals on our last stream. And as I get to know you, and the best way for me to get to know you is to make your comments and everything. And if I make a mistake, I can always take that power back, right? So I'm not afraid of that so much. But I don't want to, I want people who are, who have that much power on the channel are people that I trust. They're not going to just jump at the gun and everything. So that's what all these wrenches are. Every once in a while you'll see another one. And as I get to know you, the best way to become deputized is to show up early for my streams. I always check in a half hour at least before I come in. And if I see somebody new and I've gotten to know them along, I'll deputize them right there and then I'll announce it on the channel. All right, so like I said, tonight we wanted to talk about bands that are out there touring with very little members or no members at all, but I want to go beyond that. Of course, we'll mention Foreigner, but the ownership with Foreigner is pretty well known. And like I said on my last video, the ownership, as it was with the Guess Who, was pretty well known. People in the know knew that Jim Cale owned the band with a dastardly deed done dirt cheap. He got power of that band because they didn't trademark their name. All right? So those kind of bands don't bother me so much. Okay, well, they bother me. They bother the hell out of me. And many of my longtime viewers can tell you, Foreigner is another band that I've criticized. Now, don't get me wrong. Foreigner, back in the day, was and still is one of my favorite bands in rock and roll. What a great power pop, kick-ass, classic rock band they were. But when they got down to only Mick Jones, and then Kelly Hansen became the mouthpiece, and who's the new guy that does the bass, Phil? And they became more vocal and they kept hinting. I mean, the history of my channel is following them because they've been on their last tour, and I accurately foretold years ago on this channel that them and the Eagles were nowhere near done. Now, if you noticed, I changed my thumbnail and the title of tonight's show. And if I have time, we'll get on to what I actually advertised to do, but I don't know that we will. So we'll be covering bands who are canceling tours right and left all already. If you remember, Royce had a special show on his the Four Horsemen, and we discussed all these billions and billions and billions of bands that are making plans to tour in 2026. I've always covered that subject, and I knew, when Royce was getting ready for it, I had been following news items for a good 3 weeks before that. And everybody's and their monkey's uncle came out to announce, we're touring in 2026. Well, guess what? There are some bands that aren't touring in 2026, and yet everybody expected them. In some cases, they announced it and now have canceled their shows. Neil Young. And but the one big thing I wanted to include in that, and we'll discuss it more on Wednesday, is the Eagles. Don Henley has announced that 2026 will be the last year that the Eagles tour ever. Quit laughing. Now, no, stop it. That's not, they're laughing, baby.
Yeah, who?
The whole audience.
Oh my
They don't
goodness.
believe that shit.
No.
How long have they been, babe, how long has the Eagles been, on their so long farewell, sayonara, wouldn't want to be you, so we'll see you later tour?
Yeah, I know.
What, a decade now? It seems
I
like.
know. It's crazy.
So, but you can't believe a thing out of his mouth. I mean,
That's true.
Even his mouth, his literal mouth. The man lip syncs at the shows, so he's lost all integrity. He sues anything that moves, So, and don't get me wrong, the Eagles are one of my top 13 bands that I originally picked, in rock and roll. I'm a fan of the Eagles, but I'll tell you, I'm the kind of rock fan that I'll like a band for its talent, but I don't necessarily have to like the people in it. I love Pink Floyd. Don't care for Roger Waters, for example, all right? And there are people in bands that just twist me the wrong way. And Twisted Sister's another one of those bands that have canceled 2026 hopes, all right? We'll talk about that down the line, though. All right, so that'll give you an idea. I did want to keep you up to date with that. Also, rest in peace. Oh my goodness, this one kind of hit me. I didn't know he was even ill. But Brad Arnold of Three Doors Down, lead singer, main songwriter for the band, passed away. He was only 47 years old. All right, so sorry about this, folks. It's either that or just keep sniffling. But anyway, he passed away because I believe it was liver cancer. Very young, 47 years old, my goodness. And I was a fan of Three Doors Down. I bought their 1999 first album, their second one, oh man, and then in 2005, that third one they put out. I saw some chinks in the armor. Them relying on certain chordal patterns and even styles of picking too much, and I was kind of losing interest. I heard the next album, and they were always proficient, no matter what they did, right? But those first two albums are masterpieces. That third one, I'd give a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I was a big fan, and rest in peace, Brad. We're going to miss you, brother. And you made your mark, man. When I first heard Kryptonite, that was the song that turned me on. I got to admit it. I had to hear that song. I like that, right? I like the video even. I thought the video was very clever. But several of you mentioned that, and several of you mentioned that in the comments of my latest video, and I wanted to make sure. Timothy was the first in today with that information. I appreciate it, Tim. Tim's always right on top of stories, things like that, same as Doc Insomnia and everything. So I really appreciate it. I chuckle because Royce and I have trouble keeping up with Doc. Doc's changed the complexion of my stream, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been crazy. The voice you're hearing, if you're brand new, she's my off-air contact to you. If you notice, I'm not just sitting here. Well, Bob from Frisco says.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people do that, and it's cool. I like some streams that do that. That's not my freaking style. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's boring as hell for me. You know, just reacting, and, so I usually have a subject I want to talk about. And so she's my tie to you guys. This is my beloved wife, Kimberly Nolan, the voice you hear.
Hi.
There she is. And she's busy answering. So when you see Kimberly Nolan in there, she's in the same room with me responding. She's right across the studio room here, right?
That's
in the
right.
dark, when I've got all this lighting focused on me here, right? The studio is actually blackened out. And all of this is done through lighting, okay? So she's this disembodied, beautiful voice that you hear. And so she's my contact with you as we go through this. And if you see anybody mention any bands that are touring that you don't, that they feel they shouldn't, especially with this, baby. If you could look for comments on bands that are owned by either a record company
Yes.
or a publishing company,
Right.
because they sold all their songs and catalog,
Right.
along with a couple of family jewels along
So
the
it's
way.
a brand. Yeah.
Or estates. I hate estates. Now, don't get me wrong. All monies that an artist makes, like any other human being on this planet, should have the right to pass on their belongings, their monies, their whatever they have to offer to future generations. Good Lord, that is such a magnificent American kind of tradition that I'm in favor of. So, like, for example, I don't begrudge Yoko and Sean, evidently, not so much Julian, but whatever they got from Sean's father or her husband when he passed on, whatever they got. But I wouldn't want Yoko and Sean, all right, and for some reason, never Julian. That's a sore subject with me. But I wouldn't expect them to field a band and have some sort of look-alike of John and tour that freaking band as John Lennon and the fucking Plastic Ono Band. All right, that would piss me off to no end. Okay? And often we're talking about tours that rake in so much cash. See, now Doc was bringing, I told you Doc would come into this sometime today. Doc was bringing up a good idea here or point when he said that I remember, and so do I, Doc, you and I must be pretty close in age. Back in the day, there were acts that would be like, I don't know, one of the bands we're going to be talking about, the Temptations tonight, or the Miracles. There's a couple of them. But even bands and doo-wop bands before them. And they would tour the fairground circuit, right? And practically none of them. If you were lucky, you'd have one from the original band, and they were all replacement clones. And back in the day when they were merely called oldie shows on a fairground circuit and top tier ticket price, let's say back in the day that's when it would cost you a stomping $100 to see a Paul McCartney. You could go see these guys for $9.95 and three other bands with a group of other clones on the same day. Okay, that's circus, and we all know it's circus, okay? We don't expect the clown, when we go to the circus, to take off his makeup, all right? Or the high wire act to work in, 501 jeans and boots, cowboy boots, all right? No, but you knew they weren't what they were, all right? The clown makeup is whatever band it was, Johnny and the Doo-Wops, let's say, okay? And There, not only is Johnny no longer there, but none of the doo-wops were. But one of the doo-wops' cousin, who now owns the freaking name to the band, has fielded these bands all over the place these days, folks. As a matter of fact, before we get into that, I'll get into that. I do want to give shout outs from the last stream. I've finally caught up on you. I always do this. Like, for example, Royce gave us a $10 super or 20 today. Thank you so much, brother. These folks, he'll get shouted out on my next stream on Wednesday. It's just my way of saying a final thank you for supporting the channel. And in our last stream, Rockin' Robin Bird was in with a $2 super thanks. Michael Boswell in with a $5 super thanks. Storm Cop, James, my man, Storm Cop 55 bought 5 memberships to the channel and gave them to you folks.
Oh, he's always so nice.
Yeah, it's a
so
gift, not so
supportive.
much to me, it is a bit, but
Yeah.
it's also a gift to you folks. And you can join the tribal memberships whenever somebody does that
Yeah.
and become a tribal elder for a month. I got tons of stuff that's over there that's not on the regular channel. But Storm Cop came in and he bought 5. So that was like a $35 super thanks. Thank you, brother. Michael Boswell was in yet again. Twice more, actually, each with $2 super thanks. We call that swinging the deuce hammer. And Natalie Carley of Savoca, a $10 super thanks. And of course, my good buddy Royce came in with a $10 super thanks. Deuces Wild came in with a $10 super thanks. Joseph Blue, right at the last moment, came in with a $5 super thanks. Before that, Ben Scheidecker was in with a $2 super thanks, and JP3000 himself with a $5 super thanks. And I already mentioned Michael coming in a second time. I knew this one was coming up, folks. I may be coming down with a cold, baby.
I know, me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
I haven't had a cold in years. You know, this just hit me. Let me
Well-
take care of business here, folks, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, poor Gear Jam. He's got an ear infection.
Yeah,
It's
I wouldn't
tis the
trade him.
season, huh?
No, I wouldn't trade him.
I
Not
know.
at all.
Those are awful.
Oh, I've had them. And tooth infections suck and things like that. I hear you. All right, so anyway, where was I before we took a look at that? We were, I thought I was going to start on one particular. All right, we'll get on over here. The number one band I wanted to start off with was because so many of you responded to my latest video, which was basically saying I did not like the fake Guess Who. I did not like Jim Cale's move. I was against that. And I made videos on it and everything else. I didn't care for it whatsoever and fought for it for years right here on this channel. And so many of you came back and said, well, what about the Little River Band, man? And I've mentioned the Little River Band in passing before, but we never really got a chance to talk about them, just as a subject of the moment kind of band. I've mentioned them in the past. Well, Little River Band's just as guilty, right? You got to understand, when the Little River Band first came out, again, the hit that drove me to them was Reminiscing. And I loved that band for about 3 albums. And then I lost interest in them. Seemed like they were going a little too middle of the road. And by that time, I'm not even sure they had a full membership even by their 3rd album. Maybe one of you guys know. Let us know. Correct me in the comments. How long did the original, watch one of them say, the original lineup didn't even last the full, there were 2 tracks on the first album that was played by their new guitarist or whatever. All right, but they're out touring. Not a single original member in that band. Let me make sure I got his name right. Yeah, Stephen Houston. All right, he joined, I think he was a guitarist, and he joined the band in 1981. All right, and so every time a band member from the Little River Band would quit or be replaced, he'd go in and buy their shares, their ownership shares from them. Okay? Until it got to the point that he became the virtual owner. Now, there have been lawsuits against this dude, and he's won them all. All right? Again, a very Jim Cale kind of move, if you think about it. I'll give you an example when that exact same thing didn't work and everybody on the planet knew it. So if there's any of you out there right now are going, hey, he was smart. You know, what's wrong with that? And at least we get the Little River Band touring. Do we? No, we don't. The Little River Band that I bought records from no longer exists. They got a replacement guitarist who was on later recordings, 81, okay? So they were out late 70s, weren't they? Or mid 70s? I'm trying to remember when that first hit came out. And I got to tell you, when I first heard it, I go, that sounds like Paul McCartney and Wings, you know, reminiscing. It certainly was a McCartney-esque type of song. Same thing with 10cc's. Every time when I first heard I'm Not in Love, I could have swore that was Paul McCartney, you know? So, and I'm a big fan of Paul McCartney. So, you know, the Little River Band got my notice, right? Now it says the pre-Houston studio albums was, 1975. The Little River Band, After Hours in 1976, Diamantina Cocktail. Wow, that's a mouthful. In 1997, that may have been the last album that I picked up from them. Sleeper Catcher, maybe I had that one too. 1978, and First Under the Wire, no, I was out by then, 1979. Okay? So, and they also put out a live, a Backstage Pass, a live album in 1979, and then released their greatest hits in 1980. All of that stuff was done before this guy walked through the door. All right? So the ownership, it says here, because I asked AI, was anybody upset with this? Out of the original band? And it said, yes, original members of the Little River Band, LRB. Oh, my goodness. AI has gotten so cheeky. Specifically, Graham Goebel, Beeb Birtles, and Glenn Shorrock. Actually, one of these lawsuits was, what is his, he has a name of his company, and it's whatever that was. We Two Party, LTD. Oh, isn't he cute, right? Versus, out of these guys, Shorrock. Okay, that was the case. So, no, they're not happy about it. And he was just being opportunistic. Now, I was going to say there was a time when we all knew this was dead wrong. Not even casual rock fans would have considered this to be okay. It's like, Willie Vanilli. You know, we all knew that was wrong. Now everybody's paying big dough. Yeah, got to go see Don Henley and the Eagles. And he's doing exactly what ended their career. Like I said, we're missing a moral basis here. We got to get back to the garden regarding that kind of shit, folks. Right? So, I'll give you an example. The biggest band in the universe. One of them tried it. Although he denies, you know these guys. And he's my favorite guy in this band. Paul McCartney of the Beatles. John Lennon said that he caught Paul buying shares of their company when they became available. And he felt that it was a power play by Paul. And if I had been John Lennon, I would have thought the same damn thing. And he put a stop to it immediately. Okay? Things were never the same after that. And Paul tried to act all innocent and everything. So that was not acceptable at one time. This, to me, is not acceptable. I may have to shut down early here, folks.
Hey, hon.
I felt good 15 minutes before getting up here.
Brandon 1351 wanted me to know that Brian May is thinking of tinkering with the Queen 2 album.
Oh,
Ooh.
in what way? And it's good to see you. In what way is he doing that? Because to me, well, that's my favorite Queen album, Queen 2. I mean, that is one of rock's biggest masterpieces to me. I actually rank that Queen album higher than I rank Day at the Race, not Day at the Races, Night at the Opera. Day at the Races is good too. Not quite what Night of the Opera was. Slight lessening there, but still real good quality Queen songs. But Queen 2, my God, what a masterpiece. I've done entire videos on them. Go to my playlist, you'll find, just look up the Queen playlist and you'll see videos that I've done on that. Depends what he's going to do with it. I mean, if it's going to be a remastering, and if there was limitations in the studio and they bring it up and gloss it up in a right way, I'd be all for that. Not really sure that I want to hear outtake. Well, I no. If it had some interesting yeah, let's do it up good. Are you talking about a box set, Brandon? Yeah, that would be really good. I think I'd like that. Okay, so this also gets down to bands like, Foreigner. We've got Mick Jones operating that from behind the scenes, or probably his grandchildren as he rocks in his chair these days, right? Leonard Skinner. Who did they have? Gary Rossington died, and they had the one guy, I've got that information here somewhere, who joined after. They were already on the map. He was in early. He was an early replacement, right after the plane crash and everything. But when that's your strongest tie in a band, I said this on my last stream. I saw Leonard Skinner live. They were such a great freaking band. But I like the original band. I'm spoiled. I saw the original band. Why would I want to go see half a band with replacements? So I never have. But I've bought DVDs of them performing. The later incarnations of the band. I enjoy them. At one point, they still had enough of the original members. I would have gone to see them at any time, but not for. I don't think I would have gone to see them with just Gary Rossington left up there anymore. That wasn't what I wanted to see. We talked about the Little River Band, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, completely fielding another Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Not a single person in Blood, Sweat, and Tears belonged to Blood, Sweat, and Tears. But they're out there touring. And remember what I said about audiences not being always informed. A lot of casual fans. I'll say a song to Kimberly, and she'll go, oh, yeah, who did that? Who did that, right? And then I'll go, I don't know, The Police, although she knows The Police real well. And she goes, oh, yeah. Well, somebody with that knowledge base, then they hear that The Police are out touring, and you find out that, this is in 20 years, that Sting's 30th cousin owns the name of the band, and they're a bunch of clones. But they go, yeah, I like the Police. And they are. A lot of the people who are paying these see, this isn't like the old circus ground that I was talking about before. There you could get a ticket for $9.99, see 5 bands, enjoy the day. Here, outer ring seats for some of these people are 200 plus, 250, depending on their ability to sell. Molly Hatchet, Hatchet. Well, that's the upper crust, Molly Hatchet. Molly Hatchet. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, Molly Hatchet. Molly Hatchet.
Molly Hatchet. Oh, my God. Quiet Riot. The Temptations. The Four Tops. Gwar. I don't know anything about Gwar. I thought they were one of the bands that was at Back to the Beginning. But I may have been wrong about that. But there's nobody left. If they were at Back to the Beginning, there was nobody left in their band from the original band. They've got that band is already fake. And then what about the Iron Butterfly? I'm going to sound like Royce here. The Cream, the Iron Butterfly. That's about third time today I've said the Iron Butterfly. But Iron Butterfly, they're out touring at any given time. But Doug Eagle, when was the last time he did it? I think late 90s was the last time he was touring. And I think he was the only original member, or there was only maybe 2 at that point. I don't know. Some of you could correct me on that. But he just passed away, right? And yet they're going to be touring. They say they've got shows planned up into, including 2026. There's every single member of Iron Butterfly's dead. They're dead and gone. This is what I'm talking about. These are no longer bands. They're brands. All right? It's like, I don't know, Star Wars, Episode 4, Star Wars, Episode 5, right? Only it's worse than that. At least in Episode 5, you get most of the same characters and the same actors playing the same characters. That's not even happening here. This is what I'm saying. It reminds me of the movie Demolition Man. I've said this before. Sylvester Stallone, and who was the guy that played Blade? Wesley Snipes, right? Well, they're in the future. Sylvester Stallone's character was a cop convicted of overdoing it, and so he was sent into suspended animation. He wakes up later because the Wesley Snipes character, who is a criminal, was put in the same suspended animation and wound up in the future. So they bring him out to fight this guy. Okay? But it's the whole deal that's happening around that. The whole society, they don't listen to new music. Matter of fact, they don't even listen to bands like this anymore. They listen to old radio commercials. Oh, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Whoa, what a relief. Oh, that's number 1 this week. That's what this is. And that was a comedy bit in an action film. It was a running joke. And we're getting to the point that as far as the live concert, remember how many bands have already announced that they are going to be touring. I mentioned Paul Simon, of all people. He did this big CBS special saying, goodbye, so long. I'm an old man now, I gotta quit. And he just now announced a summer tour in 2026. But some people are backing away from that. And you know what? When we covered that over on Royce's show, I said that during there. Watch, because we'll see if these guys all wind up touring. Because I had said before that last year, 2025, a lot of bands had to call off their tours because they couldn't fill the seats. And late in the year, I thought, wow, well, they must be expecting a rebound because a lot of people are announcing that they're going to tour in 2026. But true to form, already we see some people, they dipped their toes into the cold waters of reality and they backed off. Neil Young, being only one.
Oh,
the
boy.
Eagles calling it a quits in 2026.
Yeah.
If you can trust Don Henley, I don't know. I might have to do a special stream if he actually keeps his. But when would I do it? When would you really believe him? 5 years later? Because they could cut that and all of a sudden it'll be Don Henley performs Eagles' greatest hits with Joe Walsh and Timothy B. Schmidt.
Yeah.
He'll find a way out of this, folks. He will. Oh my God. And the Spinners. All right, just one of the bands that was on my card today for the stream. And then what about you know Grand Funk Railroad or Grand Funk?
Oh, the
Who
Grand Funk.
they have a brand new guitarist and singer when they've got Mark Farner, right? Now Mark Farner isn't thoroughly innocent in all of this. At one time when they got back together, he wanted more extra monies for performing live, and I always thought, no, extra monies go to the songwriters, which you are their primary songwriter. Don Brewer got permission to be credited as songwriter for an American band from Mark Farner, who actually wrote the damn song.
Yeah.
So I didn't like the fact that he wanted more pay than they for performing, because I think equal pay for the band is
Yeah,
fair.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, but with that one caveat out of the way, I am totally 100% in Mark Farner's corner here.
Yeah.
Okay? He's been more than willing. And he even was quoted as saying, you could finally make true Grand Funk money. And was it Don Brewer? It had to be Don who replied. I don't think Felix would. But he goes, we're already making Grand Funk money. That's delusion.
Yeah.
That's freaking
Yeah.
delusion,
Yeah.
Kimberly.
I know, huh?
No, he's not.
No.
Or there'd be lines around the block.
That's
They'd be
right.
playing to 55,000 plus stadiums because add Mark Farner to the group, and that's what you would get, Don.
Yep.
And I can understand you being pissed off at Mark. Mark owes you an apology for demanding too much money. But he did do you a solid and gave you songwriting credit. What? An American band's got to be the band's biggest hit, right?
Oh,
That's got to be the
yeah.
biggest money maker. So how
That's
much
a
did you
big
make
one.
from that, Don? All right? I agree with you. He shouldn't have got more while you were performing. You're a band. You're known as Grand Funk. We all know you. We all love all three of you. And the two of you are being freaking ass jerks. Let bygones be bygones and let Mark Farner back into that band. And you know what? You could go out in a blaze of freaking glory here. Because I'm going to tell you what we're covering here. These are the death knells of classic rock and roll. Right here. When you've got bands that are out there that are being filled by, I don't know, one of the Spinners' third cousin who sees that there's money to be made from live performances, and they have their right, and they sign in some cases, like the Guess Who and or Burton Cummings specifically, his music
Oh my
is
goodness.
distributed by
goodness.
BMI.
Hun.
Yeah, baby.
Storm Cup sent another 5 gift memberships.
Oh my goodness, Storm Cup.
Cup, you are epic. Thank you
Again,
so
like
much.
a $35 super
Oh,
thanks,
my
brother.
goodness.
Thank you so much.
You are
Okay,
so
folks, listen.
supportive.
You really do need to grab these. I've got new videos over there. I've got 4 videos just in this last week, right over there. And my latest one is just me right in front of my small record collection, and we talk about Record Store Day. I show you a few records, and I give you my thoughts on Record Store Day. That video is not available here, right? It's just and it's a pretty long one. I think that one's like 17 minutes long. So take it. I mean, if it's offered to you, folks. And you know what? This is a gift to the channel. Of course, we get the gift of those finances. But this is a double gift, James. Thank you so much. You're giving to them, new people. And if I've got brand new subscribers, check it out. For 1 month, if you don't re-up after that, right? For 1 month, you become a tribal elder. Those who join the second tier become tribal chieftains, right? And I focus a lot of energy to my my tribal members as far as providing them, because they are on a monthly support system, and I appreciate it. And it has not slowed down my usual content that I have allowed on my regular channel, not one bit. I got a couple of people saying, well, they were keeping track. Well, I got 4 over there now and only 2 in the last week over here. All right, first of all, what I do over here, which is here on the channel, I've never stopped. I've always put out 1 to 3 videos on this channel. At least 1 video a week, sometimes up to 3 videos a week. That has never changed. Okay? So,
Wow.
this is for those, a lot of these folks, they just, I could give them this much a month,
Oh,
But a lot of you are now starting to watch the content. I love it.
Storm
baby.
Cop is a member he's a tribal chieftain, 21 months.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Storm Cop is one of the most supportive
21 months. I'm trying to remember
elders.
when we turn, 21 months in a couple of months. I'll look it up. You either turn deep red at that point, or you're at deep red, because there's 3 reds. There's like a bright red, almost orangish red. Then there's just a cherry red and a deep red. And then after that, you go to purple for royalty, baby.
Oh, goodness.
I chose those
yes.
colors in order, right? Because
Yep.
you become rock and tribal royalty.
That's right.
Once you hit that purple.
That's right.
You know? You're right up there with Elvis, James, when you hit that. And I've got like 5 of you folks out there that are of that rank. You've been with me right from the get-go, and I appreciate it. All right, so anyway, when we look at this, what else was there? Spinners. Yeah, talking about the spinners. Let me get this.
Yeah.
In June 2023, the independent music company Reservoir Media Incorporated acquired the music catalogs and master royalty income streams of the 4 founding members, the Spinners. All right. Now, who owns the catalog? Reservoir Media and the estates of late members Billy Henderson, Purvis Jackson, and Bobby Smith. Performance rights, while the catalog belongs to Reservoir, a reconfigured version of the Spinners continues to tour. Guess who's putting that together?
Who?
The estate.
Of course.
Now, I don't begrudge them the estate to get catalog ownership and everything. Like I said,
Right,
that's
no.
American, baby. I love that.
Yeah.
All right? You have a right to leave. But you know what? For these, now this estate becomes a bunch of monkeys to me. They just see another way. Well, Uncle Smith would have wanted us to have it. Bull shit. By using the Spinners, you're advertising the Spinners, but you're not the freaking Spinners. And a lot of uninformed concert goers, they have Spinners. I used to listen to them back in the day, and they don't do the research. And a large portion of your audience actually thinks they're watching the Spinners, or at least most of them. But that doesn't happen. It's just a shame. It was Ricky Medlock I was talking about with Leonard Skinner. He joined early 70s and then returning in 1996. All right, he was in and out and then returning. Just amazing. Oh, okay, and then I've got some, I've got my last bit of notes is something I want to take over to Royce from Doc. For his show. What time is it, baby? How are we doing
It
here?
is 6:50.
Okay. All right. You know what, folks? I'm going to shut down a little early tonight. I am so glad I got a chance to do this. I've either got the sniffles, allergy has set in. It started just before, minutes before I got up here, and I'm sorry that if the stream has been in any way incoherent, or at least, well, not as incoherent as I can sometimes be.
Yeah.
Bear with me. Bear with me, tribe. Okay. Oh, and before I get off, I did want to say this. If you're new viewers to this thing, all right, what is the tribe? I explained this a little bit. To me, you are the tribe if you're viewing this, but you really become part of the tribe as soon as you make a comment on either one of my shorts, or a comment in one of my polls, or a comment on one of my regular videos, or right here live, or if you watch it in replay and leave a comment on the streams. You're part of the tribe. That's what I'm talking about, because you've joined in. You've intermingled, and I encourage new viewers to always do that. A great way to, you've seen some people who have supported the channel financially tonight. Other important ways. First of all, you can watch those silly commercials when they come on, and I get a little tidbit from there, okay, and that helps the channel, right? Or you can give me a thumbs up. It's simple as that. You give me a thumbs up. If we hit 50, and I haven't been on the channel all night. I'm letting Kimberly do that. I haven't been where I've seen any comments or anything like that. I've kept my notes up here, right? And my only contact with you is looking right at this camera. And so when we do that and we get to 50, and the stream is still continuing. Like on Wednesdays I go a lot longer. Last Wednesday I went for 2.5 hours. I have to keep it to about an hour on Sundays, and today being Saturday to replace tomorrow's stream. You have to keep it down because then I'm going to be on Royce's panel right after this. Okay? But that's what the tribe is. And then if you hear me say I'm your humble tribe master, that is a title that you guys gave me and were calling me for a year. And I never responded to it other than to say, responding to the rest of their comments. And pretty soon there was a whole group of you using it, 20, 30 of you, early on. So I inculcated that, and being the tribe master only means I get to speak first. I have no extra. You guys have the voting power in my polls, right? All I can do is choose the subject, speak about it, then let you guys go rampant, especially on Wednesdays. I don't have quite the time on the shorter show. So I like to have like an entire episode planned for you on Sunday. Whereas on Wednesdays, I had 4 episodes planned for you on last Wednesday, and we got to all 4 episodes. It was amazing. And I was exhausted after that stream, but I can tell you something, folks. I was also exhilarated. That was a great stream. This one's been a great stream. And all I can say is please join me. What time is it now, baby?
It's 6:54.
6:54.
Yeah.
So that means in 36 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be up on Royce.
Yeah.
All right. So, grab a sandwich, tap yourself into a suds and or cup of coffee. If you want to go about it bare-knuckled, and then join us over at the Four Horsemen. And the best way to look that up is you can see it on my channel page. Go all the way down, click his channel, then click on tonight's stream. Or just type in the following. The 4, and that's the number 4, right? The Four Horsemen, Royce in the house. All one word. Royce in the house. All run on, okay? And I'll be over there. I don't know who's on tonight. I'm hoping he was able to get somebody because I'll tell you why when we get over there, all right? Anything else that was tickling my fancy tonight before we get off? I just want to make sure. I hate it when I get off and go, oh, I wish I had mentioned that.
Well,
of course we have merch, folks, all right. We've talked about it. I'm not going to bore that with you, but these are tribal mugs, and it's a way to support the channel, get something back. Each mug design means something. I've explained that in the past. The one with the just the silhouette of the tribe, I love this, the simplicity. We come from all walks of life, all over this planet. And there's the same tribe on this mug on the shores of some enchanted island. And there, behind that palm tree, that's why you always see my name with a palm tree when I come up on Royce's, right? Is a tilted, gigantic, monolithic, nay, pre-CBS, I tell you, Les Paul, that's designed to guide the tribe to the classic rock promised land. And I appreciate your support there. I thank everybody, so Kimberly, so many of those people, they hyped that video that's doing so well. It's at 8,000, if not
Oh, that's
way more than that
awesome.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's skyrocketing. I was getting 500 views an hour this morning, and that was after a
Woohoo.
great initial run yesterday.
Awesome.
Right. And that happened for about 3 hours, So when you get that kind of activity, that's really cool. So I love that, right?
Yep.
So keep all of that in mind. If you didn't get those free memberships, grab it now before we get off.
I
if
don't
they're
think
still
anybody
there.
has a choice, hon.
What's that?
I think that it just automatically goes to somebody. I don't think you can.
Oh well, no, because I've seen them before, and I clicked on them,
Oh.
and then
well,
you get it. Yeah,
Oh.
no, they don't. You have to accept it as a gift.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, somebody tell me if they've changed it. But the last time that I've done that, it was
Oh.
you take it. You click on it, and then you've got it. Right?
Yeah.
There are well over 150 videos over there that have never seen the light of day on the regular channel. The regular channel, look, we have well over 1,600 videos over here. So nobody is is missing out on really anything. But this is an extra 150 videos that over the last 2 years, because I think James has been with me almost 2 years now, if I'm right, James, which is when I started my memberships, And so, as that goes along, it's my way of saying, look, I've got to give these guys, I got to design a mug for people who do that. That's why I read out your comments when you give a super thanks. It's my way of giving back. You went to the point of giving to me and to the studio and to the channel, and I've talked to you about what I use those funds for. It's to keep me in equipment and everything. I didn't even mention this. This computer back here, I bought with the money that the channel has gotten in super thanks. Okay? And it's going to play a more important role here slightly in the future. And that was to get the channel upgraded into equipment. Okay? I always put it back into the channel so that you are provided with a more professional, better looking, easygoing show. These people can tell you, newcomers, that when we first did it, I streamed with earphone buds, right? Which I usually do over at Royce's. They're not horrible, but they're not as clear as what you're hearing me coming from me now. And I also had to mic up Kimberly. That was accomplished by some of your wonderful super thanks, okay? I get important reference materials with that, and that means more videos I can talk with, produce, and subjects I can talk about with some sort of authority. So you guys make this happen. Never forget that. I love each and every one of you. I know some of you, Dr. Rick has been having a tough time. Timothy has been having a tough time. Gear Jam just let us know he's had a tough time. Storm Cop 55 has had a real tough last year. My heart goes out to each and every one of these people. Caitlin's had a rough go, rough patches here and there. And so many more of you that I haven't mentioned that I'm quite aware of. You're just not coming to my brain right away. Soon as I click off tonight, I'll go, oh, gee, I wish I had mentioned, that type of thing. But I do, when I say I love you with all the love that agape entails. I have a love for my fellow man, and especially in settings where we put our differences aside and actually talk to each other about smaller interests. You know, they're not the interests of political powers and swaths occurring in the world, those important things. But damn it, I've about had it with those important things. And I'd like to get back to a society that knows when to slow down and have a fireside chat. Just in case any of you didn't know why I have this fire going on, it's symbolic. It's part of the landscape that I try to create for you and make you feel more at ease. Okay? Oh, I just let insider secrets out, baby.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, do you think I'll pay for it?
Probably.
Well, you see, I met this guy in Georgia,
Yeah?
and the guy had quite a deal.
Okay.
He gave me some tips, and if I took them, he'd have a soul to steal.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah?
I just ripped that out of my brain, Martha.
Oh, my goodness, Michael. You're silly. You
I
are
can be.
silly.
It's been known to happen from time to time. Look at how I started this whole stream off to begin with, babe.
I know, huh?
Who does that? Me.
I know.
Me.
You're a
The
nut.
answer's always me.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, huh?
Who is responsible for all my misery, Lord? That'd be you, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be you.
Oh,
And
my
there's so much
goodness.
truth to that. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, folks. Again, I love you,
Okay.
and I'll see you in about a half hour, actually 28 minutes
Good night.
from now, over at the Four Horsemen, Royce in the house, and we're going to be talking about great halftime shows of the Super Bowl and carry on the conversation from there. Or whatever else comes up. I don't know if he's going to go in more one direction or we're going to stay on that tonight. We'll see what happens. I look forward to seeing you, Royce. All right, folks, I got to get up like an old man and talk as I go off camera because I don't have my remote control, baby.
Oh, your remote control.
Yeah, I want one for you.
You're
Do you think
always
the Easter
losing
Bunny will
it.
get me one?
You're always losing it.
I want a remote control Easter Bunny.